Joining us now is a guy that's on a one-way trip to space.
Rocket ship.
Boom.
He's been on a rocket ship for the last few years. We've obviously just learned about him over the last 2 years. I'd assume throughout high school, throughout Little League, throughout junior high, this guy was untackleable. He won every single award, Maxwell, Doak Walker, and the Earl Campbell. He was a runner-up for the Heisman. Ladies and gentlemen, out of Boise State, running back, star, stud, Ashton Jeanty. Ashton, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's say you get drafted top 6 to the Raiders, like everybody has you mocked, and the general manager of the Raiders said that his kid has told him that if he doesn't draft you, he's going to disown his entire family. You get a bunch of money. They offer you to go to space. You go to space, or you staying on ground?
I'm staying on ground, man. I ain't going to no space.
Yeah, smart.
Me too, yeah. You've dominated this earth, too. The way you chew up ground is better than anybody else. I couldn't imagine him in space. Oh my God. Jeanty, maybe something to think about as you get older. Hembo sent me some stats here about you while we've been chit-chatting, and I'm going to rattle them off, and then I'm going to get into asking you some questions about your game, if you don't mind. Including the playoffs, Saquon Barkley scored 7 60-yard touchdowns this season. No other player had more than 4. No other running back had more than 2. Okay, that's Saquon Barkley in the NFL. Ashton Jeanty rushed for 29 touchdowns last season, the average of which was 28 yards. He had 5 of them for 70-plus yards. Damn. 8 of them for 60-plus yards. 10 of them for 50-plus yards. Jeanty also forced 126 missed tackles, 38 evaded, 88 broken, most in America. First of all, Ashton, hell of a fucking season, buddy. Yeah. Hell of a season out there.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Let's talk about what the game has become. Obviously, for Boise State, you were their go-to player, the key player, the running back. The NFL is also becoming that. What has the conversations with the NFL teams been like for you in more of a focus on the run game type kind of evolution of the game we're kind of experiencing, Ashton?
Yeah, I mean, the conversations have been great. I mean, especially you see what Saquon was able to do and, bringing his team all the way to the Super Bowl. But a lot of teams have a need for a running back, a workhorse that you can, take most of the load throughout the game and, wear defenses down. And, they're seeing real value in that from the running back position now.
How have the conversations been going? Has everybody talked about, hey, obviously you played every down. You got the ball damn near every single down. What have the teams been asking you about other than your explosion? Have they been asking you about protection? Have they been asking you about wear and tear? What has the convo been like going into the draft for you?
Yeah, I mean, those are the main things besides the running ability. Their main thing right now is, can you pass protect? Will you protect the quarterback? Because that's a big deal. Are you a 3-down back? But also being able to, catch the ball, run routes, and just be a all-around complete back.
Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, when you were, getting ready for the combine in your pro day, we know everyone works on these drills. These are specific drills you'll be doing. But other than that, I guess what have you been doing to try to, step your game up to the next level once you do get to the league? I'm sure every coach, like we said, will talk about your pass pro, and you have to learn how to pass pro. But if you watch your tape, we know you're not scared to stick your head in there and shut down any kind of blitzers. But what do you think you need to do, I guess, to separate yourself for your rookie year?
Yeah, I think it's attention to detail once you get to the NFL. I mean, everybody knows exactly what's happening when it's happening. So just understanding defensive structures better, understanding what we're doing as an offense, what the O-line's doing, the receivers, the tight ends, understanding it all so that I'm a step ahead of everybody when the ball snaps.
Chuck Pagano is a friend of the program. Obviously, he is a friend of the Boise program as well. He lives out there. Now he's coaching for Baltimore. He has sang your praises for years. Ty has a question.
Yeah, Ashton, what was it about Boise State that made you want to stay? Because with the way NIL is right now, I assume a couple years ago, you could have went and played in the Big Ten. You could have went and played in the SEC. You could have played wherever you wanted to. And obviously, Boise State, you guys made it to the playoff, this year. Everyone knows the Smurf turf and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to work out for you. But why did you ultimately decide to stay at Boise State?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I wanted was, to develop into a great running back and, have a chance to play on the next level. I had a great group of coaches around me, great group of players around me. So, that remained consistent. But also the hiring of Coach Danielson. So he was the interim head coach my sophomore year, and once they hired him, like I knew for sure, like he was a perfect guy, and just the relationship that I had with him already. I mean, I knew that he was gonna, give me the keys and let me do my thing as a leader, as a player, as a running back, and we also had a chance to, make history with the new playoff landscape and make the college football playoffs.
You guys gave Oregon all they could handle week 2 or week 3, and everybody's like, Oregon's not a team. Oregon's bad this year. Little did they know, Boise State was a monster, and the running back was outrageous. You were phenomenal to watch all season. Thank you for the excitement every single week. D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, Ashton, I got a question. I guess coming up, what backs did you want to really model your game after? What backs did you admire? And more specifically, your stance, too. You got a very unique stance when you're standing behind the quarterback in the backfield, very upright. So I guess what backs did you model your game after, and where did that stance come in at? Where did you start with, and obviously you stuck with it, and it has paid off so far?
Yeah, so probably the first running back I really, paid attention to and watched was Marshawn Lynch. I just loved his, physicality, his running style, those beast mode runs. And then, more recently, as I got older, watching Derrick Henry, I just love his stiff arm. Even though I'm not as big as him, but, that's a great tool to have in your bag. Alvin Kamara is a comparison I get a lot, so that contact balance, love watching him and what he does in the receiving game as well. But I just try to take little things from, all the greats. And the stance, man, the stance always something that I did, but, I always had a coach telling me that I couldn't stand like that. But this past year, I mean, like I said, Coach D and, my running back coach, Montgomery, they said, do your thing. And as long as you're being efficient out there and making plays, there's no problem with the way you stand.
Yeah, you look like a punter back there, and then you get the rock, and you're going for 70 every single time you touch it. What an offense! What a player you were. Legitimately in college ball, you'll be remembered forever as one of the greats, which is spectacular. Have you always been built the way that we saw you at the pro day? Because obviously you won tarps off at the pro day. You said I'm not as big as Derrick Henry. I think you're pretty jocked, lad. Has this always been the way you've built? Have you put on weight for the NFL, or is this standard Ashton Jeanty?
No, that's pretty much how I always been built. I mean, I started lifting in the 6th grade with my older brother. He taught me really how to lift, and I mean, it's paid off, So I had to take the top off and show everybody what I'm working with.
A smart play, yeah. We saw it. Yeah, we saw it, and we all, holy shit! Look at this guy. Let's give him the ball. Connor has a question for you, Ashton.
Yeah, Ashton. Speaking of training, have you been able to train with any guys that are currently in the NFL or were in the NFL? And then aside from the training, when you were doing meetings with teams and things of that nature, did you get any kind of off the wall question? Nick Sirianni has told us he used to play like rocks, paper, scissors in the meetings with guys and prospects. Did you do any of that during your kind of entire process during this break?
Yeah. So, sorry. Can you say your question again?
He said, "Have you trained with any NFL guys?" And then he said, "Did you get any?" Yeah, he's in a bad.
That was a little long-winded question.
Yeah,
I think so too. So look at that.
Yeah, he's a little uncomfortable. Have you trained with any NFL guys? And did you get any weird questions from any of these NFLs?
Nah, so I haven't really got to train with any NFL guys. I kind of been on my own, just trying to get right. And then, I mean, we're flying around so much and doing so many different things. You gotta find creative ways to, get it in. I actually was just working out running hills earlier, and I didn't really get any crazy questions, surprisingly. But I on my 30-day visit with the Raiders, they had us playing golf at Top Golf. But I know they were scouting to see who had a good swing or not. I know they were.
How's your game? How's your game?
It's all right. It needs a little bit of work.
So I think was there a group of you there at the top 30 visit for the Raiders?
Yeah, it was a group of us.
Okay, so I think they're trying to see how you interact with people probably, right? And everybody that has ever talked about you said like perfect teammate, great teammate. It feels like that's something you take a lot of pride in, yes, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, relationships are important, especially, with those guys that you're going to battle with on the field.
We shit talk during Top Golf, or are we quiet? Do you talk on the field, or are you quiet?
It depends. It depends on who I'm playing. Like, if somebody who talks trash mode, then I'm gonna talk back to them. But golf, I'm not talking trash because I'm not good.
All right, it's my turn to hit. Great. Let me get this out of the way, and then you guys kind of do your thing. Excited to watch. Cheer you guys on. Do your thing.
Good move by the Raiders, though. Worked out for the Commanders.
Yes, it certainly did. But Jaden, they did that last year with the group visit.
Yeah.
They did the Top Golf thing and had everybody chit chat.
And from the reports, he wasn't that great either. So
at golf.
That's right. Did you make solid content? Did you embarrass yourself out there, or did we make at least some solid content?
No, I was making some contact for sure.
Okay, yeah. You dropped down the draft board quick. Yeah. Fall into the net, do the whole thing.
Yeah, you're done.
Oh, you're fucking out of there. Yeah.
You're out of there.
All right, let's talk more about those visits. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Ashton, you talked about the top 30 with the Raiders. A couple years ago when Jalen Carter was coming out, we had agent Drew Rosenhaus on, and he said, I'm not sending him on any top 30 visits to any team that's picking outside of the top 10. How did you approach that this season? Have you visited anyone outside the top 10, or was it a similar approach where you're like, I don't think I'm going later than that, so why would I take that visit?
I mean, it's been a similar approach, mainly with teams that are, interested in me, and only one's been outside of the top 10. But there's a possibility, as a running back, falling out of the top 10. Even the fact that I'm projected to go in the top 10 is, great for the position. But I think it was most importantly meeting with the teams who are interested and, really have a need for the running back position.
Are you doing football training now? All the combine stuff kind of behind you? We're not worried about all the, I don't want to say track drills, but are we back into full football training? Do you feel like you're...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely back into full football training. I mean, the track, the underwear Olympics is behind me.
Well, congratulations. Your college career is behind you as well, and it'll be one that is chit-chatted about forever. Truly miraculous accomplishments for the Boise State squad, and we can't wait to see where you end up on draft night. Good luck, and thank you for the time.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Are you going shirtless at the draft, too?
Oh, you should.
I just might.
Yeah, you should. You should take the professional wrestler thing, too, and kind of oil up.
Yep. Yeah.
Oil up. Yeah. Dude,
Oil up?
Oil up. You got oil up. Kind of let that thing go, Ladies and gentlemen, Ashton Jeanty. Thank you, Ashton.